Not everyone is as fortunate as Bill Maher. You are aware that there is only one effect of fat shaming. It causes embarrassment. Shame also contributes to self-destructive behavior, anxiety, and depression. Self-destructive actions, such as smiling behind one's back. Everywhere James Corden went, he made enemies. Not everyone was laughing, even though he won over millions of viewers on The Late Late Show with his clever banter and carpool singing. Numerous celebrities have already publicly acknowledged that they find him intolerable. The reason why so many celebrities detested James Corden is finally been revealed. Artie Lange. One of the most notorious cautionary stories in comedy is Artie Lange, a talented entertainer whose witty humor was frequently overshadowed by his inner turmoil. He made his debut as an original cast member on Mad TV in the 1990s, and he went on to star in Norm Macdonald's cult favorite comedy, Dirty Work. The highlight of Lange's career, however, was his 2001 appearance on The Howard Stern Show, where he became a popular sidekick with a reputation for outrageous storytelling and unrestrained humor. His tenure on Stern's radio empire came to an end in 2009 when he was forced to take a break due to his battles with substance abuse and addiction. Lange's name was still associated with Stern even after he left. Stern acknowledged that he was still dealing with the emotional fallout from the breakup in a 2019 article in the New York Times Magazine. Stern admitted, "I do get sad talking about Artie, and that he had wished for Artie to receive assistance for many years." However, Lange, who frequently objected to sentimentality, made fun of Stern's transformation into a nicer, more celebrity-friendly broadcaster. In a 2016 Artie Quitter podcast, Lange publicly chastised Stern for calming down. "He's the only guy that could have said, 'Fuck you.'" Lange claimed that Stern had lost the edge that had once characterized his shock jock persona when he complained, "I think Ellen DeGeneres dancing is stupid." Then, in an unexpected digression, Lange brought up James Corden, associating him with the type of mainstream celebrity content Stern had come to embrace. When James Corden opens his fat mouth to do karaoke in a car, something that wouldn't be funny to the secretaries at an accounting firm, and gets an Emmy for it, I'm allowed to say he sucks. In addition to Corden himself, he detested the late-night host for what he represented: safe, prepackaged entertainment that appealed to middle America and Hollywood executives alike. Lange, who made his name on rawness, excess, and brutally honest comedy, found it bittersweet to see someone like Corden win an Emmy for carpool karaoke. While Stern apologized for his broken friendship with Lange, the comedian's public outbursts against Stern, Corden, and anyone he perceived as inauthentic solidified his reputation as a fearless comic and a man constantly at odds with the industry he once flourished in. Ricky Gervais's rant highlighted the gap between comedians who see themselves as truth-tellers and outsiders and those who embrace mainstream stardom. In many respects, Ricky Gervais and James Corden seem to have followed similar career paths in the entertainment industry. Both became well known in the 2000s by co-creating and starring in popular British sitcoms. Corden with the beloved Gavin and Stacey and Jerry with the groundbreaking The Office. They then moved into the film industry before experiencing another wave of success on the other side of the Atlantic. While Corden landed the high-profile position of hosting The Late Late Show on CBS, garnering international recognition for segments like Carpool Karaoke, Jerry became a notorious Golden Globes host, mocking Hollywood with his comical humor. However, beneath the surface similarities, there is a long simmering rivalry that, according to The Sun, dates back to 2009. According to a source who spoke to the outlet, Corden's parody impersonation of Jerry, which he performed while starring in the sketch comedy show Horn and Corden that year, didn't sit well, and Jerry seemed to enjoy making fun of and undercutting Corden whenever the chance presented itself. Ricky is now a little obsessed, attacking James when his jokes don't work and making fun of his size, the source said. Indeed, the jabs have been frequent and incisive. Gervais added to the criticism directed at Corden for his poorly thought-out jokes about Harvey Weinstein at a charity gala in 2017. Just days after Weinstein's predatory actions were made public, he told Radio Andy that he didn't do it well enough. In 2020, Jervis sharpened the knives once more while hosting the Golden Globes, saying with his usual brutality, "The world got to see James Corden as a fat pulk. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that." The jab implied that Corden lacked the skill to pull it off, in addition to the fact that the material was tasteless. Though Corden has rarely responded directly, the tension is evident as the joke, which began as a parody, has evolved into a feud driven by barbed jokes, bruised egos, and Jervis's unrelenting need to position himself as the truth-telling outsider, managed to mock both Corden's physique and his starring role in one of Hollywood's most infamous box office disasters in a single breath in a sing. Liam Gallagher. Every late-night talk show has a signature line that has become synonymous with its brand. For viewers, the competition presents an odd spectacle. Two comedians with comparable career paths engaged in a public struggle in which one never misses the opportunity to destroy the other. While The Late Late Show with James Corden solidified its cultural identity with carpool karaoke, Jimmy Kimmel Live has its viral mean tweets segment. The idea of Corden driving around Los Angeles with superstar musicians belting out their greatest hits, from Adele's powerful vocals to Lady Gaga's theatrics and Britney Spears' nostalgia factor, became a global sensation, garnering millions of YouTube views and winning Emmy Awards. It was undoubtedly Corden's greatest contribution to popular culture, but not everyone was impressed. The renownedly outspoken former frontman of Oasis, Liam Gallagher, made it clear in a 2017 interview with GQ that he would strongly object if asked to participate in carpool karaoke. Then came the knockout punch: "James Corden is a knobhead." Gallagher sneered. "No thank you very much. No chance, mate." Gallagher continued, mocking Corden's comedic past with that fat bloke from Kevin and Perry, a misguided reference to Corden's early sitcom, Gavin and Stacey. In the late-night world where carpool karaoke had made Corden a worldwide celebrity, Gallagher's comments were a fitting fit for his reputation as rock's perpetual bad boy, never afraid to disparage other entertainers. When asked by the Daily Beast if he had heard about Gallagher's tirade, Corden's response was sarcastic. "Yes, God, what will we do? I don't even know how we'll think of carrying on." The exchange emphasized the cultural gap between Corden's acceptance of sophisticated mass-market comedy and Gallagher's rock and roll contempt for glossy mainstream entertainment. He deadpanned, dismissing the insult with mock despair. In the end, Gallagher's jabs only served to highlight how popular carpool karaoke had grown, large enough to draw the attention and derision of one of music's most notoriously blunt voices, Patrick Stewart. For Corden, it was harmless fun that brought fans closer to their idols, while for Gallagher, singing Oasis hits in a car for millions of people online was sacrilege. At the 2010 Glamour Women of the Year Awards, a formal evening honoring women in entertainment took a strange turn when Stewart, a respected Shakespearean actor and international celebrity thanks to Star Trek and X-Men, chose to publicly criticize the night's host. While some celebrity feuds end quickly, few are as unexpectedly sharp as James Corden and Sir Patrick Stewart's. When the presenters are up here, and when the recipients are receiving their awards, don't stand at the back of the stage with your hands in your pockets, looking around as though you wished you were anywhere but here, Stewart said, his words piercing the room as he took the stage to give his presentation. Stewart also took a moment to criticize Corden's stage presence. The audience was taken aback. This was a scathing jab against Corden's hosting manner rather than light-hearted humor. Never one to back down, Corden attempted to dismiss it while maintaining the flow of the show. "Well, if I looked bored, I'm sorry, but when you come up and present an award, just get on with it," he shot back with a fake smile. The tension was evident. Stewart wasn't done though. He smiled smugly and took another jab. "I could see your tummy from where I was seated, and it was directly at the rear of the room." Corden took the remark hard, but he would not be subtly humiliated. He responded with a scathing rejoinder of his own. "We can all see you dying right now, and you can see my tummy." Awkward laughter and gasps echoed through the crowd. Perhaps sensing that the situation had gotten out of control, Stewart tried one last joke. "Keep your belly covered," which caused Corden to wince, more from the ridiculousness of the situation than from actual loss. The altercation swiftly gained media attention, and many were shocked to see Stewart, who is typically respected for his dignity, be reduced to a public roast. The Sun claims that Stewart later felt regret after a representative acknowledged that Patrick was horrified by the unsightliness. He had consumed alcohol. When his new girlfriend was around, he simply lost it. Whittle, Ricky. With its focus on the complicated loves, scandals, and tragedies of life in a fictional Chester suburb. Channel 4. Hollyoaks soap opera, one of Britain's most lasting, has cultivated a loyal following since its debut in 1995. The program, which is well known for its youthful cast and quick-paced plots, has acted as a springboard for a number of actors. Notably Ricky Whittle, who would go on to become well known throughout the world for roles in American Gods and The 100. One of the series' breakout performers, Whittle played constable-turned-nightclub entrepreneur Calvin Valentine from 2006 to 2011. However, not everyone had a positive opinion of Hollyoaks. In an interview with Esquire in 2008, James Corden, who had played a minor part on the soap opera in 2000, delivered a very critical evaluation. He spoke harshly. "In fact, I'd sooner die than return. It's terrible. It just produces pucks. You know, all of these people bragging about visiting Los Angeles while strolling around with this chicken in a basket of fame." Not only did Corden criticize the show, but he also criticized the culture it created. Young actors who lack substance are vying for rapid fame. It should come as no surprise that Corden's remarks offended people who had made a living on the program. Ricky Whittle, who was still appearing on Hollyoaks at the time, didn't hold back as he shot back a barrage of criticism at the up-and-coming comic. Watts described Corden's comments as ungrateful and juvenile in a TV interview. "It's very childish that he's slating the place where he came from, the place that made him," Whittle lashed back. He then made fun of the show that had made Corden famous by twisting the knife. Whittle concluded his reprimand with a blunt warning that implied the animosity went beyond simple business chit-chat. "I don't know who he is, and I've never seen the show he's in. Is he Gavin? I wish him luck. On a night out, I hope he doesn't run into us." In addition to highlighting the brittle egos and rivalries that exist within the British entertainment industry, the conversation also brought to light the conflict between actors who saw soap operas as important professional stepping stones and others, like Corden, who disregarded them as lowbrow. Even though Corden would become well known throughout the world in the US thanks to The Late Late Show, Whittle's scathing retort made sure that his name would always be associated with one of the most scathing public criticisms Corden has ever encountered. From Jack Allison. James Corden has received a lot of accolades in the late-night television industry for his charisma and ability to attract well-known guests. However, not everyone has had nothing but positive things to say about him behind the scenes. Writer Jack Allison, a member of the Writer Guild of America and former cast member of Jimmy Kimmel Live in the 2010s, offered one of the more scathing critiques. In 2019, Allison claimed that Corden had attempted to discredit the very union that represented television writers in a tale she shared on Twitter that did not reflect the presenter in a positive light. Allison recounts how Corden abruptly turned up to a closed WGA meeting intended just for late-night writers without any of his own employees in attendance. According to Allison, Corden was there to support a compensation system that would, in reality, result in lower salaries for people working on his program rather than to increase the writer's bargaining power. In particular, Allison said that Corden promoted the establishment of a new lower pay grade for writers' assistants, who would be employed for 13-week assignments instead of being eligible for higher union earnings as contractual staff writers. Although the suggestion was presented as a way for assistants to gain access, Corden Allison clarified that the implication was obvious. Without offering the consistency or pay grade that renowned WGA writers have, it would enable The Late Late Show to hire people more affordably. According to reports, Union representatives at the conference quickly rejected the proposal, reiterating that guild regulations would not allow such a salary reduction. Corden retaliated with his own version of events after the story went viral online, claiming he had never desired to pay writers less. Paying a writer less than what they deserve is something I would never do. Never, he tweeted. He insisted that his only goal had been to look at ways to provide gifted immigrants better opportunity. Allison, however, was not about to back down. He responded angrily on Twitter, reiterating his claims. I was right. The incident contributed to the expanding notion that James Corden's friendly on-screen character was significantly different from his off-camera behavior. Critics like Allison saw the episode as another instance of the host putting his financial interests ahead of the individuals who put a lot of effort into making his show successful, while his supporters claimed he was misinterpreted. Bill. After Bill Maher concluded a real-time episode in 2019 with a section on America's escalating obesity issue, a contentious cultural argument broke out between two late-night hosts. Maher, who is well known for his thought-provoking opinions, maintained that a return to fat shaming was the answer rather than greater acceptance or compassion. It's not necessary to stop fat shaming. According to him, it must return. Shame is excellent in moderation. The first step toward reform is shame. Critics immediately took exception at his direct remarks, accusing him of encouraging cruelty while posing as a health advocate. Days later, James Corden delivered a forceful reaction on The Late Late Show using his own platform. In his roughly 8-minute monologue that opened the show, Corden acknowledged that he felt obliged to answer. As he put it, I was watching this at home and all I could think was, oh man, somebody needs to say something about this. If only there was someone with a platform who understood what being overweight was really like, he continued. Corden, who has long been outspoken about his battles with weight, reacted to Maher's framing by reminding viewers that fat shaming had not gone away but had instead persisted in society. There's a common and insulting misconception that fat people are stupid and lazy, and we're not, he emphasized, arguing instead for empathy and respect. And then I realized, oh, that will be me. But Ma stepped up, calling Corden's defense sentimental during an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, claiming that the late-night comedian had a chance to literally save lives. For Maher, obesity was a public health issue, not merely a personal one. Framing the issue as one of societal cost and responsibility, he said, you can't keep eating as much as you want and as sock as you want and expect us to cover the bill. He felt that Corden had taken the easy route by criticizing him instead of enforcing what Maher considered to be a harsh but necessary truth. Asia Arento and Rose McGowan, after decades of predatory behavior that had long gone unchecked, were exposed by the hashtag movement. Hollywood underwent a profound reckoning in 2017. The New York Times' shocking investigation into Harvey Weinstein, which detailed a staggering number of sexual misconduct allegations against the once powerful studio mogul, was published on October 5th. In the midst of this cultural shift, James Corden found himself at the center of controversy for all the wrong reasons when he hosted a black tie Amfar charity gala in Los Angeles on October 13, 2017, just 8 days after the Times story broke. The revelation sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry as actors, producers, and industry leaders began confronting a toxic culture that had been ignored for too long. Corden's decision to interject jokes about Weinstein throughout his monologue quickly turned what should have been a solemn and respectful evening into an awkward one. It's so lovely Harvey Weinstein has already asked tonight up to his hotel to give him a massage, he joked, reducing the upsetting accusations to cheap shock humor. He added another line after that. It has been weird this week, hasn't it, watching Harvey Weinstein in hot water? Ask any of the women who watched him take a bath. It's weird watching Harvey Weinstein in hot water. The response was fast and fierce. These jokes struck many survivors of Weinstein's assault as both callous and tone-deaf. One of the first women to publicly air her accusations against Weinstein, Asia Arento, was horrified. Rose McGowan, another well-known Hashimoto movement spokesperson and one of Weinstein's most vocal victims. Also didn't hold back when she called Corden a mother-cuing piglet on Twitter, writing, "Shame on this pig and everyone who grunted with him." In response to criticism from the public and survivors, Corden apologized on Twitter. He maintained that his intention was not to disparage victims, but to make fun of Weinstein. "I wanted to humiliate Harvey the abuser, not his victims, rather than trivialize his unconscionable actions. I sincerely apologize to anyone I may have offended. That was never my intention," he wrote, but the damage was done. Corden's attempt at edgy humor came across as flippant and deeply misjudged at a time when Hollywood was demanding empathy, accountability, and respect for survivors. The incident remains a stain on his reputation, reminding us how quickly a poorly chosen oak can clash with the gravity of a cultural reckoning. Pierce Brosnan. Not every Hollywood conflict escalates into a full-fledged feud, but some awkward encounters don't go unnoticed. One such instance occurred in 2017 on The Late Late Show when James Corden played his notorious game, Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts. The recurring segment is a perverted version of Truth or Dare, where guests are forced to either choke down some truly disgusting foods or reveal an uncomfortable truth. During an appearance with Khloe Kardashian, Corden was given a difficult choice: either drink a glass of bird saliva or respond to the question, "Name a celebrity who was rude to you." After a lengthy pause, some hesitation, and a lot of encouragement from Kardashian and the audience, Corden chose to spill rather than swallow his response. According to Corden, the incident occurred years ago at a Utwu concert he went to with his wife and friends, where they were sitting next to Brosnan and his entourage, who at one point left their seats during the performance. The empty space wasn't just any area though, it was a prime location near a runway where Bono occasionally sang during the show. The moment stuck with Corden, who said that the former James Bond actor came across as cold, dismissive, and yes, maybe just a bit rude. Corden and his wife saw an opportunity and moved into the space, but when Brazen and his group returned, things took a turn. Corden recalled, literally, "I've never felt anything like it," and he claimed that Brown physically shoved him aside to reclaim the spot without even saying a word or acknowledging him. Prominent film critics have long regarded Broman as the dapper, gentlemanly star of romantic comedies and Bond movies. So the revelation caused both surprise and laughter from Kardashian and the audience. The Prom quickly became a critical favorite when it debuted on Broadway in 2018, garnering 7 Tony Award nominations and attracting attention for its blend of satirical humor and poignant storytelling. The main plot of the musical centers on a group of conceited New York theater actors who, in an attempt to restore their damaged reputations, seize upon a controversy in small-town Indiana. The actors portray themselves as advocates for equality and jump on a local high school's decision to forbid a gay student from bringing her girlfriend to prom. This combination of scathing satire and sincere inclusivity struck a chord with many theatergoers, solidifying the Prom as both socially relevant and darkly humorous. The success of the musical prompted a film adaptation, which debuted on Netflix in late 2020. In actuality, however, they are more interested in the publicity than the cause itself. Barry Glickman, one of the flamboyant New York actors at the heart of the story, is openly gay, and his larger-than-life persona frequently drives the comedic energy of the narrative. The film, which was directed by Ryan Murphy, featured a star-studded cast that included Meyer Stray, Nicole Kidman, Kerry Washington, and James Corden. But controversy soon surrounded Corden's performance, with critics claiming that the non-gay actor's portrayal of Barry leaned into antiquated stereotypes, and that his exaggerated mannerisms and effeminate affectations undermined the film's larger message of acceptance and tolerance. Awards. Watch's Eric Anderson bluntly called Corden's work gross and offensive, the worst gay face in a long, long time. No more straight actors playing gay men until the sins of the Prom are properly atoned for, said Richard Lawson of Vanity Fair. Echoing Zach Sharf of IndieWire, who who pointed out the contradiction between a film that loudly promotes inclusion while simultaneously relying on a performance steeped in cliché. Although some segments of the industry reacted more positively to the outcry, Corden was still nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy. But the controversy hung over the film, portraying the nomination as polarizing. In the end, Sacha Baron Cohen won the prize for his performance in Borat's follow-up movie. Please share your thoughts regarding James Corden haters in the comments box below. We hope this video was helpful, and if so, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in our next videos.